I'm Mary T, and I would like to talk about the Mary T. Inc. value called Enliven the Spirit. Enliven the Spirit actually comes from decades-old program that we were doing, which was called the Eden Experience. The Eden Experience really looked at what kind of environment you have and what are the aspects of your environment that make for a better working condition for employees, as well as a better environment for the people that we serve to live in. So when you think about enlivening the spirit, you think about a number of things. You think about color, you think about music, you think about animals, you think about plants. And how can you incorporate this into your everyday working life? How can people that we serve incorporate that into their everyday living life to really kind of enlivening the spirit? I love to come to work. I like to do this. The most obvious one, of course, is animals in the work spot and animals in the homes of the people that we serve. So we did start to introduce dogs at the Camille Rose Care Center. They had a dog that lived with them for about 10 years. I know, for example, that Brooklyn Center has a cat. Other people have had dogs. The assisted living have had dogs and cats. And then, of course, there is the IT building that has multiple dogs. And probably was also part of the impetus for Patty Wax Give Your Dog a Home, in which we have rescued over 500 dogs. Some of them belonging to people who work for us, some of those belonging to people who we serve in terms of keeping animals in their lives. Probably the thing that most of you have seen is when you've come into Margaret Place, or if you go into the assisted livings, or you go into the care center, you see these large aviaries. We have had them for 20, 25 years when we started this idea of enlivening the spirit. They're made by a husband and wife couple in South Dakota. They come every 3 months to make sure our birds are healthy. But you can talk to the birds because we have screens on the side of the aviary so that you can hear them and talk to them. And so again, this whole idea about how do we incorporate animals into our lives at work. Some people bring their pets to work. But also in terms of in the home. Another one is plants. Now, I would say that this one we haven't had as much success with because you have to water them, you have to take care of them. But the idea of enlivening the spirits, people would have live plants everywhere. We were hopeful that some of our homes would start gardens and be out there with their hands in the dirt, again, feel the soil. We actually at one point had worked with a day program about perhaps doing some farming with them in terms of how that might work. And again, this all has to do with the environment that we live in and how do we feel when we come to that environment, whether we live there or whether it is at work. We also, though, it's not just, it goes further than that. It's how you do trainings. And our trainings used to be very, and I hate to use the word use, but they used to be very exciting. Of course, we still keep the idea of you have to have candy, but we used to have like balls with lights in them, or balloons, or fuzzy things that you hold and squeeze, and you do these things while you're in your training, and you decorate the room. So it is one of the reasons that the conference room at Caroline, which is now a training room, new pictures went up, the map of the world went up, and so when you're sitting there you can be stimulated by the environment that is around you. So you can do it in training, you can do it in the way you live. We also had a music therapist who would go to the assisted livings, who would go to Community Rose, who would go to some of the homes. Also, some of our folks went to the school program in which they were in choirs, but the idea that music was a part of what we do every day. So when we would go to the resort, every night we would gather around the fire pit and we would sing songs. Okay, so maybe they were the same songs every night, but who cared? The idea was is that you could sing, She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain as many times as you want to. But it was that idea of music, of course, in our lives. We also, for a while, had a masseuse who had an office at Margaret Place. Then we moved the masseuse to the home health office. And so for a while, one of our RNs and actually one of our HR people were certified masseuse. And people could get massages in the evening or during the day or get neck massages. So it's all about touch and about how your body feels and sort of this positive energy. So if I was to define enlivening the spirit, I would define it as an environment that produces positive energy. Positive energy for when you come to work, positive energy for the people who live in our homes and the people who get our service. So hopefully that is helpful to you, why enlivening the spirit is one of the Mary T. Inc. values. Thanks, and have a great day.